Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the 19th annual Millville Vineland Academic Bowl. It's hard to believe, but it's been nearly 2 decades since the late Bruce Rosenwasser wanted to honor our academic brain brawlers from both of our high schools in the same way that we honor our athletes in the annual Vineland-Millville football game. Today we have students from both high schools who are going to be competing in an academic showdown. My name is Lou Russo. I'm the moderator who will be reading the questions. We have 2 judges. From Vineland, Mrs. Diane Dooley, and from Millville, Mr. Gerard Bruman. Our teams are coached by Vicki Yeager from Vineland and Bill Brannon from Millville. Let's introduce the teams. First, to my left, for Millville, Alyssa Robbins, Julius Kuna, Caitlin Rivera, Caitlin is the captain, David Crane, and an alternate who would serve just in case is Kyle Bowles. On my right for Vineland, Lucas Thomas, who is also the captain, Sabin Patel, Sarah Parks, Curtis Riggins, and the alternate is Priya Patel. Very quickly, we'll go through the rules. So each team consists of 4 seniors and 4 juniors. 2 seniors and 2 juniors from Vineland High School will compete against 2 seniors and 2 juniors from Millville High School during the first 30-minute half. 2 different seniors and 2 different juniors from Vineland will compete against 2 different seniors and juniors from Millville during the second 30-minute half. Each team will have a senior and a junior alternate in case a starter is not able to compete. Now, the team with the highest score at the end of the second half will win the competition. If both teams are tied at the end of the second half, the match will end in a tie. In the unlikely event that all 60 of our questions in this quiz book have been used prior to the expiration of the allotted 60-minute time frame, the match will end and the score at that point will be final. Each question is worth 1 point. Now, any challenges to questions that are asked during the first half should be submitted to our judges, Mrs. Dooley and Mr. Bruman, at the end of the first half. Any challenges to questions in the second half should be submitted to the judges by the team captain at the end of the second half. No challenges will be accepted or addressed during the question and answer periods, and of course, the judges' decisions are final. I will read every question twice. Both teams will have approximately 30 seconds to deliberate on the general questions and approximately 60 seconds for questions that involve mathematical or scientific computations. When time is called, each captain will provide the team's written response to the question. I will offer both teams printed copies of some of the math questions and copies of other questions that our quizmaster has deemed to be so lengthy or detailed that we need a printed copy. I'll read aloud the answers provided and announce which teams are correct, and if any, incorrect. If the judges concur, any points are earned will be recorded, and both teams will be awarded a point if they both provide correct answers. No calculators are permitted, and the teams are allowed pen and paper only. These questions come from both the professional sources and from questions submitted by staff members from both schools. They were compiled by our quizmaster, retired Millville High School librarian Charles Brosina. And without Mr. Brosina's help, we would not be able to put this together. All right, are we ready? Vineland, are you ready? Millville, are you ready? All right, we will now proceed with the first question. All right, first is spelling. Please spell for us the word pharaoh. Pharaoh is a noun, defined as a ruler of ancient Egypt. The word pharaoh comes from the Egyptian per-ah, meaning great house, and it referred to the royal palace. Only quite late in the New Kingdom did pharaoh come to refer to the king himself. So please spell for us the word pharaoh. A noun defined as a ruler of ancient Egypt. It comes from per-ah, great house, referred to the royal palace, and only quite late in the New Kingdom did pharaoh come to refer to the king himself. do have 30 seconds. If you are ready, display your answer. But you do have 30 seconds. All right, that is time. So please hold up your answers. The correct answer, please hold them up, please, captains. The correct answer is P-H-A-R-A-O-H. P-H-A-R-A-O-H. Vineland is not correct, and Millville, P-H-A-R, is also not correct. Okay, all right. Move on to question number 2. This is a local interest question. It was a popular meeting place just before the Revolution due to its proximity to the Cumberland County Courthouse. In 1775, at Christmas time, patriots published a manuscript newspaper called The Plain Dealer, dedicated to the cause of liberty. It argued in the strongest terms for the separation from the Crown's rule. Architecturally, it is an excellent example of the type of frame house built in New Jersey during the 17th and 18th century. Please name this historic site located on West Broad Street in Bridgeton, New Jersey. Popular meeting place just before the Revolution due to its proximity to the Cumberland County Courthouse. The Plain Dealer was published there, arguing for the cause of liberty, separation from the Crown, an excellent example of frame house architecture in New Jersey in the 17th and 18th century. Please name this historic site located on West Broad Street in Bridgeton. About 10 seconds or so remain, folks. Right, that is time. All right, unfortunately, Catholic Church is incorrect, and the courthouse is also incorrect. The correct answer, it's still there. You can go check it out this afternoon. Potter's Tavern. Potter's Tavern. All right, number 3 is geography. In South America, the equator traverses the land of 3 countries. Please name any 2 of them. In South America, the equator traverses the land of 3 countries. Please name any 2 of them. Okay, approximately 10 seconds. Time. Please display your answers. The correct answers were Ecuador, Colombia, and Brazil.
Yes,
So Ecuador and Brazil. Millville is correct for 1. And Vineland's answers were, I believe, Brazil and Galapagos. Correct? All right, that is incorrect. So Millville with 1. Yes, please make sure clearly, teams, that you display them to the judges, right? To Mr. Bruman and Mrs. Dooley. All right. Moving on, number 4 is a math question. Now I'm going to provide both teams with a printed copy. Okay, so, captains, would you please? Thank you. Okay, mathematics. What is the number that is 1/10 of 1/2 of 1/10 of 1/2 of 3,600? What is the number that is 1/10 of 1/2 of 1/10 of 1/2 of 3,600? Math questions have 60 seconds. you like to display your answers? Are you ready? All right, please display it to the judges. The correct answer is 9, both Millville and Vineland, with 1 point. Right, moving on to literature. He was perhaps the most successful writer in America in the early 20th century, with his vigorous stories of men and animals against the environment and survival against hardship. His years in the Klondike, searching for gold, left their mark in his short novels, The Call of the Wild and White Fang. Please name him. The most successful writer in early America in the 20th century, with his biggest stories of men and animals against the environment and survival against hardship. His years in the Klondike, searching for gold, left their mark in his short novels, The Call of the Wild and White Fang. Please name him. Approximately 10 seconds. All right, end time. Can you please both display your answers? The correct answer was Jack London. Okay, so no answer here. Vineland had Jack London for 1 point. All right, grammar. These are words that are formed with verbs but act as nouns. They are very easy to spot since every one is a verb with ing attached to its tail. There are no exceptions to this rule. What are they? So these are words that are formed with verbs but act as nouns. They're very easy to spot since every one is a verb with ing attached to its tail. And there are no exceptions to this rule. What are they? There's approximately 10 seconds, but I see both teams have answers. The correct answer. The correct answer was gerund. 1 point for Millville, 1 point for Vineland. All right, current events. FEMA Director Brock Long called this August 2017 hurricane the worst disaster in Texas history. This September of this year, a devastating hurricane struck the Florida Peninsula. Please name either hurricane. FEMA Director Brock Long called this August 2017 hurricane the worst disaster in Texas history. This September of this year, a devastating hurricane struck the Florida Peninsula. Please name either hurricane. Okay, I saw Millville display the correct answer earlier. Would you like to display your answer, please, for the judges? I see Harvey, and they are both correct. Correct answers were Hurricane Harvey and Hurricane Irma. 1 point for each team. All right, U.S. history. When General George Washington needed a volunteer to gather intelligence behind enemy lines before the coming Battle of Harlem Heights, he stepped forward and subsequently became one of the first known American spies of the Revolutionary War. Captured by the British and about to be hung, legend holds that he was asked if he had any last words, and that he replied, "I only regret that I have but one life to give for my country." Please name him. So when General Washington needed a volunteer to gather intelligence behind enemy lines before the Battle of Harlem Heights, he stepped forward and became one of the first known American spies of the Revolutionary War. Captured by the British and about to be hung, he was asked if he had any famous last words, and he replied, "I only regret that I have but one life to give for my country." Please name it. About 5 seconds. All right, and that is time. Could you please display your answers? The correct answer was Captain Nathan Hale. So unfortunately, Millville is incorrect, and Vineland is also incorrect. All right, we're moving to math. I'm going to give both teams a printed copy. All right, so solve this system of equations. 3x plus 3y equals -1. And 2x minus 9y equals 3. So solve this system of equations. 7x plus 3y equals -1. And 2x minus 9y equals 3. And that's 60 seconds. Seconds left, plenty of time. Approximately 10 seconds, teams. That is time. Please, both teams, display your answers. The correct answers are x equals 0 and y equals -1/3. Judges, will you accept x equals 0 and y equals -1/3? That's a yes. Okay, over here, I'm going to let them confer. All right, so the judges have conferred. Unfortunately, Millville had y equals 0, so that is incorrect. 1 point for Vineland. All right, world history. It is a 15th century Inca citadel situated on a Peruvian mountain ridge 7,970 feet above sea level. Most archaeologists believe that it was built as an estate for the Inca Emperor Pachacuti. I know I should know that. Although known locally, it was not known to the Spanish during the colonial period, and it remained unknown to the outside world until American historian Hiram Brigham brought it to international attention in 1911. Please name it. Name this site. 15th century Inca citadel on the Peruvian mountain ridge, high above sea level. Most archaeologists believe it was built as an estate for the Inca Emperor Pachacuti. Although known locally, it was not known to the Spanish during the colonial period, and it remained unknown to the outside world until American historian Hiram Brigham brought it to international attention in 1911. Please name it. Approximately 10 seconds, teams. All right, please display your answers. The correct answer was Machu Picchu. I saw Vineland incorrect at Chichen Itza, and Millville's was, I believe, also incorrect. All right. Moving on to biology. Regarding their diet, humans, raccoons, possums, skunks, pigs, rats, badgers, chickens, crows, and turtles have what in common? Regarding their diet, humans, raccoons, possums, skunks, pigs, rats, badgers, chickens, crows, and turtles have what in common? Approximately 10 seconds, teams. All right, that's time. Please display your answers. All right, the correct answer is they are all omnivores. I believe both teams have the correct answer. 1 point for each. All right, moving back to U.S. history. On June 28th of 1863, he was given command of the Army of the Potomac. He would achieve his greatest victory during his first encounter with Confederate General Robert E. Lee. During the Battle of Gettysburg, although still new to the command of his army and suffering great losses of such leaders as John Reynolds, he was able to hold off Lee's attacks. His victory crippled the Confederate army. Please name him. So on June the 28th of 1863, he was given command of the Army of the Potomac. He would achieve his greatest victory during his first encounter with Confederate General Robert E. Lee. During the Battle of Gettysburg, although still new to the command of his please name him. Approximately 10 seconds. All right, that's time, teams. The correct answer, please display your answer to the judges. The correct answer was General George Gordon Meade. So I believe both teams are incorrect. All right. Back to biology. This is an ecological community in which populations of plants or animals remain stable and exist in balance with each other and their environment. It is the final stage of succession, remaining relatively unchanged until destroyed by an event such as fire or human interference. So this is an ecological community in which populations of plants or animals remain stable and exist in balance with each other and their environment. It is the final stage of succession, remaining relatively unchanged until destroyed by an event such as fire or human interference. Approximately 10 seconds. All right, please display your answers. The correct answer is climax community. Ecosystem is incorrect, and homeostasis is also incorrect. All right, chemistry. This question necessitates a printed copy. All right, how many times more acidic is a solution of pH 2 than a solution of pH 4? How many times more acidic is a solution of pH 2 than a solution of pH 4? All right, folks, if you can hold up your placards, the correct answer was 100 times. I see the correct answer on both sides. Great job. All right, next question is general knowledge. This four-letter word was coined by Richard Dawkins in his 1976 book, The Selfish Gene, as an attempt to explain the way cultural information spreads. Most of us know them as humorous images of videos, pieces of text that are often copied, often with slight variations, and spread rapidly by internet users. Facebook users find them posted every day. What is this word? This four-letter word was coined by Richard Dawkins in his 1976 book, The Selfish Gene, as an attempt to explain the way cultural information spreads. Most of us know them as humorous images or videos or pieces of text that are copied with slight variations and spread rapidly by internet users. Facebook users find them posted every day. What is this word? You still have plenty of time, but if you are ready, you may display your answers. The correct answer is meme, and I see that both teams have the correct answer. All right. 1 point for each team. All right, moving to literature. It is the story of two outsiders striving to find their place in an unforgiving world. Drifters in search of work, George and his simple-minded friend Lenny have nothing in the world except each other and a dream. A dream that one day they will have some land of their own. Eventually, they find work on a ranch in California's Salinas Valley, but their hopes are doomed, as Lenny, struggling against extreme cruelty, misunderstanding, and feelings of jealousy, becomes a victim of his own strength, tackling universal themes such as friendship, of a shared vision, and giving voice to America's lonely and dispossessed. This novel has proved one of Steinbeck's most popular works. Please name it. It's the story of two outsiders striving to find their place in an unforgiving world, drifters in search of work. Would you like to display? They both have the correct answer of Mice and Men. 1 point for Vineland and 1 point for Millville. Thank you, that was a long one. Alrighty, moving to world history. He was a 15th century Portuguese prince who helped usher in both the Age of Discovery and the Atlantic slave trade. He has been credited with furthering knowledge of geography, map-making, and navigation. He started a school in Sagres at the southwestern tip of Portugal, where he employed cartographers, shipbuilders, and instrument makers. Please name him. A 15th century Portuguese prince who helped usher in both the Age of Discovery and the Atlantic slave trade. He has been credited with furthering knowledge of geography, map-making, and navigation. He started a school in Sagres at the southwestern tip of Portugal, where he employed cartographers, shipbuilders, and instrument makers. Please name him. Approximately 10 seconds. All right, that's time. Both teams, please display your answer. The correct answer was Prince Henry the Navigator. So Amerigo Vespucci was incorrect for Millville, and Ferdinand was incorrect for Vineland, so no points for either team. Number 18 is a government question. As per the executive branch of government of the United States of America, please provide the office title or the name of the highest ranking member of the cabinet. As per the executive branch of the government of the United States of America, please provide the office title or the name of the highest ranking member of the cabinet. Okay, about 10 seconds. Okay, that's time. Please display your answers. The correct answer was the Secretary of State, or the current Secretary of State, Rex Tillerson. I believe Vineland was correct for 1 point. Number 19 is a technology or physics question. When a ray of light enters a body of water in a direction perpendicular to the surface of the water, how much will it bend? When a ray of light enters a body of water in a direction perpendicular to the surface of the water, how much will it bend? Now, 5 seconds, teams. All right, that's it. Please show. All right, the correct answer is 0 degrees. It doesn't bend at all. Millville is correct for 1. Vineland is incorrect. So 1 point for Millville. All right, number 20 is chemistry. Physical properties of matter are categorized as either intensive or extensive. Water boils at 100 degrees Celsius, no matter how much water is in the container. Boiling point is representative of which of these 2 properties? Physical properties of matter are categorized as either intensive or extensive. Water boils at 100 degrees Celsius, no matter how much water is in the container. Boiling point is representative of which of these 2 properties? Approximately 10 seconds remain. All right, teams, and your answer is, the correct answer is intensive or intensive property. Millville is correct for 1. Vineland is incorrect. All right, so we have been notified that that's the end of our first 30-minute half with the score tied. Millville 10. We'll take a short break and then we'll be back for the second half. All right, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the second half of the 19th Annual Millville Vineland Academic Bowl. As we begin the second half, the score is tied 10-10, but we have a new set of students from both schools, so let's please take a moment to introduce them. First, to my left, for Millville, William Brown, Theo Sherman, Wesley Musto, and he is the captain. Callie Sippin, and the alternate is Matthew Crilly. For Vineland, to my right, Julia Albertson, Anuj Patel, Francis Bertuccio, Marilyn Miguel, and the alternate is Isaac Garrett. Okay, we're going to pick it up. Again, the score tied 10 to 10. All right, the first question is literature. This Massachusetts town was once the home to Louisa May Alcott, Ralph Waldo Emerson, Nathaniel Hawthorne, and Henry David Thoreau. This Massachusetts town was once the home to Louisa May Alcott, Ralph Waldo Emerson, Nathaniel Hawthorne, and Henry David Thoreau. Please name this town. Okay, approximately 10 seconds. All right, display your answers, please, to the judges. The correct answer is Concord, Massachusetts. So Cambridge was incorrect, as is Walden, so no points for either team. Moving to U.S. history. This refers to the drought-stricken southern plains region of the United States, which greatly suffered during a dry period in the 1930s. Rising wheat prices in the teens and 20s and increased demand for wheat from Europe during World War I encouraged farmers to plow up millions of acres of native grassland to plant wheat, corn, and other crops. But as the United States entered the Great Depressions, wheat prices plummeted. Farmers tore up even more grassland in an attempt to harvest a bumper crop to break even. Crops began to fail with the onset of drought in 1931, exposing the bare, over-plowed farmland. Without deep-rooted prairie grasses to hold the soil in place, it began to blow away. It intensified the crushing economic impacts of the Great Depression and drove many farming families on a desperate migration in search of work and better living conditions. Although some refer to it as the Dirty 30s, this environmental disaster is best known to us as what? Drought-stricken southern plains. I see no conferring, and I see two answers. Why don't you hold those both up, teams? That way I don't have to read it again. The correct answer was the Dust Bowl. Both teams are correct. 1 point for Millville and 1 point for Vineland. All right, moving to biology. Animals, fungi, and many bacteria cannot directly harness energy from the environment as primary producers do. These organisms must acquire energy from other organisms by ingesting them in one way or another. These consumers are known to us by a term which combines the Greek words for other and feeder. What is this term? Animals, fungi, and many bacteria cannot directly harness energy from the environment as primary producers do. These organisms must acquire energy from other organisms by ingesting them in one way or another. These consumers are known to us by a term which combines the Greek words for other and feeder. What is this term? Seconds left, teams. All right, please show your placards to the judges. The correct answer is heterotroph, or heterotrophs. Okay, I see no answers for Millville. Vineland has heterotroph. All right, 1 point for Vineland. Health. This organ plays a central role in the metabolism of fats. And if it is working efficiently, it makes more of the good cholesterol, HDL cholesterol, and less of the bad cholesterol, LDL cholesterol. This organ plays a central role in the metabolism of fats, and if it is working efficiently, it makes more of the good cholesterol, HDL cholesterol, and less of the bad cholesterol, LDL. Name this organ. Approximately 10 seconds, teams. All right, please show your answers. The correct answer is liver. I believe both teams are correct. 1 point for both Vineland and Millville. Okay, moving to math. I'm going to hand out a printed copy. Okay, vehicle A averages 16 miles per gallon of gasoline, and vehicle B averages 35 miles per gallon of gasoline. At these rates, how many more gallons of gasoline does vehicle A need than vehicle B to make a 1,120 mile trip? Vehicle A averages 16 miles per gallon of gas. Vehicle B averages 35 miles per gallon of gas. At these rates, how many more gallons of gas does vehicle A need than vehicle B to make a 1,120 mile trip? About 20 seconds remaining. Ten seconds, team. All right, that is time. The correct answer was 38. I see that neither team has the correct answer. All right, technology and physics. A simple machine is a mechanical device that changes the direction or magnitude of a force. In general, they can be defined as the simplest mechanisms that use mechanical advantage to multiply force. Usually, the term refers to the 6 classical simple machines which were defined by Renaissance scientists. Please name any 5 of the 6. A simple machine is a mechanical device that changes the direction or magnitude of a force. In general, they can be defined as the simplest mechanisms that use mechanical advantage to multiply force. Usually, the term refers to the 6 classical simple machines which were defined by Renaissance scientists. Please name any 5 of the 6. Approximately 10 seconds. is time. All right, the correct answers, please show your placards to the judges. I see 4, and I see 4. Hold them up higher. Unfortunately, we needed 5. The correct answers, so neither teams, well, don't erase yet. Oh my goodness. All right. The correct answers were lever, wheel, and axle, pulley, wedge, screw, inclined plane. All right, so unfortunately there were 4 on each side. They did not get 5. All right, so we're going to move into math. No points for either team there. Okay, a math question. Printed copies. All right, if 60% of a given number is 9, then what is 25% of the given number? If 60% of a given number is 9, then what is 25% of the given number? Approximately 30 seconds left, teams. Ten seconds. All right, please display your placards to the judges. The correct answer is 3.75. Millville is correct for 1. Vineland is incorrect with 60. So 1 point for Millville. All right, number 28 is chemistry. These are ions that exist in the same form on both the reactant and product sides of a chemical reaction. They are unchanged on both sides of a chemical equation, and they do not affect equilibrium. When writing a net ionic equation, these ions are found in the original equation are ignored. Thus, the total ionic reaction is different from the net chemical reaction. What is the term for these ions? I'll read it again. These are ions that exist in the same form on both the reactant and product sides of a chemical reaction. They are unchanged on both sides of a chemical equation and do not affect equilibrium. When writing a net ionic equation, these ions are found in the original equation. These ions found in the original equation are ignored. Thus, the total ionic reaction is different from the net chemical reaction. What is the term for these ions? Okay, approximately 10 seconds. All right, please hold up those placards. The correct answer is spectator ions. I knew the audience knew that. Spectator ions. So Millville is correct for 1. Vineland was incorrect. Okay, moving into current events. It began in the early 1990s as a small website built by the husband and wife team of David and Barbara Mickelson. Its aim is to debunk or confirm widely spread urban legends. It found new life in the era of fake news. The name comes from an ornery, duplicitous, barn-burning family of itinerant farmers, blacksmiths, bigamists, and bank presidents popularized in a trilogy of novels by William Faulkner. Please name this website. began in the early 90s as a small website built by the husband and wife team of David and Barbara Nicholson. Its aim is to debunk or confirm widely spread urban legends. It's found new life in the era of fake news. The name comes from an ornery, duplicitous, barn-burning family of itinerant farmers, blacksmiths, bigamists, and bank presidents, popularized in a trilogy of novels by William Faulkner. Please name this website. Okay, about 10 seconds. All right, team. The correct answer, hold them up. The correct answer is Snopes. All right, Ask Jeeves is incorrect, and there was no answer, so no point for either team. All right, moving on to U.S. history. The Battle of the Little Bighorn was fought on June the 25th, 1876 in Montana Territory and pitted federal troops led by Lieutenant Colonel George Armstrong Custer against a band of Lakota, Sioux, and Cheyenne warriors. When a number of tribes missed a federal deadline to move to reservations, the U.S. Army, including Custer and his 7th Cavalry, was dispatched to confront them. In battle, his forces were outnumbered and quickly overwhelmed in what became known as Custer's last stand. Please name either of the Lakota leaders. So at the Battle of Little Bighorn, June 25th, 1876, in Montana Territory, federal troops under George Armstrong Custer against a band of Lakota, Sioux, and Cheyenne warriors. The tribes missed the federal deadline to move to reservations, and the U.S. Army, including Custer and the 7th Cavalry, were dispatched to confront them. Custer's battle forces were outnumbered and overwhelmed in what became known as Custer's last stand. So please name either of the Lakota leaders. Approximately 10 seconds. All right, please show your answers. The correct answers are Sitting Bull, Millville is correct, or Crazy Horse. Unfortunately, Vineland is incorrect. So 1 point for Millville. All right, moving to spelling. Please spell for us the word maintenance. Maintenance is a noun defined as the act of maintaining, providing care and upkeep. With proper maintenance, the car will last for many years. So please spell for us the word maintenance, a noun defined as the act of maintaining, providing care and upkeep. With proper maintenance, the car will last for many years. About 10 seconds. If you're ready, hold them up. All right, hold them up high so the judges can see. Now, the correct spelling is M-A-I-N-T-E-N-A-N-C-E. Wait. I saw an A here, so I had second A. Am I correct? All right, so that is incorrect. And M-A-I-N-T-E-N-A-N-C-E. All right, I believe they are correct. Is that correct? All right, so 1 point for Vineland. All right, moving into New Jersey. After graduation from Princeton, which was then called the College of New Jersey, and the University of Virginia Law School. He earned his doctorate at Johns Hopkins University. He was a professor of political science and became president of Princeton in 1902. He was elected the governor of New Jersey in 1910. He was nominated for the presidency at the 1912 Democratic Convention. He campaigned on a program called the New Freedom, which stressed individualism and states' rights. In a three-way election, he received only 42% of the popular vote, but an overwhelming electoral vote. Please name the 28th President of the United States. So after graduating from Princeton, University of Virginia Law School, he earned a doctorate at Johns Hopkins, a professor of political science, president of Princeton in 1902, elected governor of New Jersey in 1910, nominated for the presidency in 1912 at the Democratic Convention, campaigned on the New Freedom, individualism and states' rights, three-way election. He received 42% of the popular vote, but the overwhelming total of the electoral vote. So please name the 28th President of the United States. There's plenty of time left, but I don't see any deliberating. Oh, still deliberating. They're not deliberating. All right, why don't you hold up your placards, team? The correct answer is Woodrow Wilson. So there's a point for both Millville and Vineland. Very good. All right, geography. Please list these 4 state capital cities in order from farthest west to farthest east. The cities are Jefferson City, Raleigh, Lincoln, and Nashville. Please list these 4 state capital cities in order from the farthest west to the farthest east. The cities are Jefferson City, Raleigh, Lincoln, and Nashville. Since I gave them the printed copy late, I'll just give them a minute to confer if they need it. Are you ready? And ready? All right, good. Hold them up, folks. The correct answer is Lincoln, Jefferson City, Nashville, and Raleigh. I believe both teams are correct for a point each. Very good. All right, number 34 is math. So once again, I'm going to give a printed copy. Okay, these 5 consecutive integers, x minus 3, x minus 2, x minus 1, x, and x plus 1 add up to 390. What is the value of x? These 5 consecutive integers, x minus 3, x minus 2, x minus 1, x, and x plus 1 add up to 390. What is the value of x? Or so seconds remain. seconds, teams. All right, please show your answers. Correct answer is 79. I believe they are both correct. 1 point for each team. Very good. All right, number 35. Literature and writing. 2 men have won a Pulitzer Prize 4 times, one for poetry and the other for drama. Please name either one of them. 2 men have won a Pulitzer Prize 4 times, one for poetry and the other for drama. Please name either one of them. Okay, about 10 seconds. All right, please show us your answers, friends. The correct answer is either Robert Frost or Eugene O'Neill. Vineland has Frost. Unfortunately, Arthur Miller is incorrect, so 1 point for Vineland. All right, number 36 is grammar. No matter how fascinating the biology dissection is, Emmanuel turns his head and refuses to look. Is this sentence the infinitive? In this sentence, the infinitive to look functions as what? No matter how fascinating the biology dissection is, Emmanuel turns his head and refuses to look. In this sentence, the infinitive to look functions as what? Seconds left. All righty, please hold up your placards. And the correct answer is, it functions as a noun. So preposition and verb are incorrect. Unfortunately, no points for either. We're going to move on to math. Okay. I'm going to give a printed copy to both teams. Okay, this concept is at the core of calculus and modern mathematics. Its definition can be approached in 2 different ways. One is geometrical, as the slope of a curve, and the other one is physical, as a rate of change. It refers to the rate of change of a mathematical function with respect to a change in the independent variable. Please provide us with the name of this term. So this concept is at the core of calculus and modern math. Its definition can be approached in 2 different ways. One is geometrical, as a slope of a curve, and the other one is physical, as a rate of change. It refers to the rate of change of a mathematical function with respect to a change in the independent variable. So please provide us with the name of this term. Okay. I see 2 teams that both have answers and no deliberations. Why don't you please hold those up? Correct answer is derivative. Both teams have the correct answer. All right. Next question in history, American history. He served as the 22nd and 24th U.S. presidents and was known as a political reformer. He is the only president to date who served 2 non-consecutive terms, and also the only Democratic president to win election during the period of Republican domination of the White House that stretched from Abe Lincoln's election in 1860 to the end of William Howard Taft's term in 1913. He worked as a lawyer, served as mayor of Buffalo, New York, and was governor of New York State before assuming the presidency in 1885. So please name him. The 22nd and 24th presidents of the United States. He was a reformer, the only president to serve 2 non-consecutive terms, the only Democratic president to win between the period of Republican domination that stretched from Abraham Lincoln's election in 1860 and the end of William Howard Taft's term in 1913. He worked as a lawyer, was the mayor of Buffalo, and was the governor of New York State before assuming the presidency in 1885. So please name him. Okay, about 10 seconds. All right, teams, hold up your placards. The correct answer is Grover Cleveland. Millville is correct. Theodore Roosevelt is incorrect. 1 point for Millville. That is time. Wow. All right. The judges have just conferred that the time has expired. With that last question, the final score, Millville 20, Vineland 19. Congratulations, Millville. Let's give congratulations to all the competitors today. Oh, I'm sorry. Are there any challenges? First, before we congratulate anyone, are there any challenges to either question in the second half? If so, the judges need to deliver that. Excuse me, the team captain needs to deliver any challenges to our judges. So as the judges confer, okay, so the judges have both conferred. Just a reminder, we have a judge both from Millville High School and Vineland High School. And the judges have conferred and the challenge is not accepted. Score stands, Millville 20, Vineland 19. So once again, let's give a round of applause for all of our participants. The challenge, Vineland claims that the word to look was a prepositional phrase. And the judges have conferred and they have not accepted that challenge. Right? The correct answer was noun in that case. Okay? Well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. As we prepare for Thanksgiving next week, happy Thanksgiving to all of our families. If the dignitaries will join us, we'll be presenting the trophy, the Bruce Rosenwasser Trophy, named in commemoration of the late Bruce Rosenwasser, who created the competition 19 years ago.